Guys, for the past 8.5 years that this guy has been head coach of the Pens, there's been some stuff about him that, looking back on it, I've greatly overlooked. And I've overlooked these things about Mike Sullivan because of the back to back cups. Because entering last season, the Pens had not even missed the playoffs since Sidney Crosby's rookie season. And honestly, the Pens haven't even had a losing season since Sidney Crosby's rookie season. And I know that the NHL records are completely different than any other sport, but if you look at it in a nutshell, technically the Pens had a losing season last year, and currently through 52 games this year, we're under 500 again. And we have the fourth fewest points in the Eastern Conference. The third fewest, the fourth fewest, I should say. Fourth fewest points in the Eastern Conference. We're seventh in the Metropolitan. And at the beginning of the season, I said that if the Pens fail to win a playoff series this year, then I would officially be on board with saying Sullivan needs to be fired. Well, here I am, sitting down here, February 20th of 2024, and I'm saying it right now. Mike Sullivan needs to go. What's going on, everybody? I am Mac, back with another video. As always, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, follow on Instagram. Link is in the box below. The New York Rangers, miles ahead of the Pens. We're not even in the same stratosphere as them. Carolina Hurricanes, same deal as them. New Jersey, I wouldn't say they're a great team, but they always beat us, so obviously they're better than us. The New York Islanders are better than us. The Washington Capitals, better than us by a point. Even the Philadelphia Flyers, this one should sting the most if you're a Pens fan. The Philadelphia Flyers are 10 points ahead of us in the Metro. They've been the biggest surprise team this year. The only team that we're better than are the Columbus Blue Jackets as far as the Eastern Conference goes, and they have the third fewest points in the entire league, only ahead of the San Jose Sharks and the Chicago Blackhawks, and those two teams are in full-fledged rebuild and tank mode. Jaromir Jagr on Sunday night deserved way better than this crap that the Pens put on the ice. Way better. And I'm wearing his jersey in this video. Jaromir Jagr deserved way better. The way this team loses is just mind-boggling. Because, of course, the Pens would lose on a shorthanded goal. Of course, Mike Sullivan would put out absolute bums in the most critical moments of a game. Sidney Crosby's the only guy going out there scoring the goal because that's what he does. Nobody else contributes. And I know it's easy to say, well, Jake Gensel's hurt. Jake Gensel's going to be out for the rest of the season. This bottom six doesn't even exist. And this is where I'm getting into Mike Sullivan right now. And these are the things that I've overlooked about him. Honestly, I would say since the playoff series against Montreal, actually, since the Islanders series in 2021. I hardly count the Montreal series because of COVID, but the New York Islanders series in 2021 officially made me start to question Mike Sullivan. One of the most infuriating things about Sully is his ability to rarely change up the lines, like I said. Rickard Rakell who we got in the 2021-22 season, he's been severely underwhelming. And even though he was off to a pretty solid start where he had 20, since 2017-18, where he had 28 goals and 60 points, he has just not been productive this year. And Sully needs to find a way to keep him in the lines or even scratch him if it's necessary. But his preferable option would be to change him in the lines, either decreasing his ice time or letting him play with one of the best playmakers of all time in Sidney Crosby so he can boost his confidence up. Not happening. Anybody who's watched most of or even one of the Pens games this season can tell you that Chad Ruhwedel and Jeff Carter have been the worst players on this team, bar none. Ruhwedel in particular, where he had a +2 to start off the season and even had an assist against Ottawa earlier in the season. But other than that, the guy's just been non-existent. And yet every single night, he's out on the ice. Jeff Carter's one of the worst Penguins players of all time. And he was this last season, and I don't know why he continues to get ice time. He's lost his touch. He's not a good skater. He's not fast anymore. He's not physical. He can't shoot. He can't produce anything. He had a -16 last season, which was the worst of his career in 4 years. And he continues to just not rack up points, to not be a factor on the ice. And every single game, he's out on there for a significant amount of time. This is Sully's 9th season as the Pens head coach. And yes, he is the winningest head coach in Pens history. And he won us back-to-back cups in 16 and 17, which I will always appreciate. Don't get me wrong. I will always appreciate that. But ever since then, the Pens have only made it past the first round of the playoffs once. And it's coming up on 6 years ago where we beat Philly in the first round of the playoffs. Then Washington finally beat us in the second round. It's like, okay, you can live with that. This team's coming off of back-to-back cup appearances and wins. Maybe they're just tired. Let's see what they do next year. Islanders were a great team in 2020, or 2019 rather. All right, maybe, the Islanders were just the better team. 2020, like I said, I hardly count it because of COVID. But 2021 was officially when I started to question Mike Sullivan. This team has just lost its touch. This is the oldest team in the league, and you would think that a team with a bunch of veterans like this team has would have some kind of hockey sense. But no. An aging core of Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang, and now Erik Karlsson. The Pens need to win now, and they do not have much of a future, because if they do not win now, which they obviously are not, you're looking at a situation where the Pens are going to be pretty much where they were to start off the 2000s. In limbo. One of the worst teams in the league. Bottom of the division. Bottom of the league. Hoping to rely on the lottery to get another transcendent talent. And like I said, this was the first, last season was the first time the Pens have missed the playoffs since Sidney Crosby's rookie season in 05-06. And Kyle Dubas is committed to winning, and if he truly is committed to winning, he's going to have to let go of Sullivan. Because that's the only way that this promise is going to be kept if this Pens team is serious about winning. And the game that officially put me on the Fire Sullivan train came Sunday night, where they retired 68 in front of a packed house in Pittsburgh, and they played the LA Kings. Oh, the game is tied with 3 minutes to go in regulation and they're on a power play. Sully puts out this absolute nobody. And I'm saying it, he's a shrimp, okay? I'm a shrimp too, I'm not going to lie. This guy can't be this dude whose name I don't even remember probably couldn't be any taller than me. I'm not a tall guy at all. I'm only 5'7", 5'8" on a good day, okay? He's probably around my height. I'm not afraid to say that on camera, okay? He's out there in the most important part of the game. He apparently has all this skill that's never been proven, and all he does is put a backwards pass to the neutral zone. He had no business being out there whatsoever. And as a matter of fact, he was out there when the Pens lost the game on a shorthanded goal. Because that's just what this team does. And that's a reflection of Mike Sullivan. Sully, I appreciate everything that you've done for this franchise. I will always look back on you as my favorite head coach of this team, but your time is up. Sometimes a team needs a coaching change in order to have newfound success. That's what the Pens did in 15-16. Mike Johnston wasn't getting the job done for the Pens, fired him around November, and in came Mike Sullivan, and boom, the Pens won their first Stanley Cup since 2009. I'm not saying that's going to be the case if they do fire Sullivan, but Sullivan's time is up. He's gone stale. And it took me 4 years pretty much to officially say that Sullivan needs to be fired because I kept giving him passes. The defense sucks. The goaltending is underwhelming. Tristan Jarry's just not the guy. We don't have a good backup goalie. There's no excuse now. Sullivan, your time is up. And that's all I got to say. I am Mac, checking on out for the day. Have a good one, everybody.